bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, just a regular Friday night at Temple Habonim. Actually, it's not quite regular. We have people sitting in the front row, and that is extraordinary, and we are delighted to have you. And there are other front row seats for those of you just coming in. You may have noticed this is PJ Storytelling Shabbat. We're going to hear some great stories tonight. We're also very comfortable in our PJs. We're relaxed. Oh, I can see everybody has such... everybody looks so comfortable in their PJs. As we get started to welcome and celebrate Shabbat, everyone needs a book, everyone needs a handout, and would you please take a moment, turn around, greet the people around you, find somebody you don't know, and say hello.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
We begin our service tonight with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Would you please turn to page 3 as the Schoenfeld family and the Breyer family come on up to light our Shabbat candles. Page 3.
God began the... Wait, am I speaking into the microphone? You go ahead. God began the world by saying, "Let there be light." We begin Shabbat with candlelight, saying, "Baruch atah Adonai." When God finished creating the world by making Shabbat a holy day, we make Shabbat a holy day for ourselves. May the warm glow of these candles remind us of God's light. And may this Shabbat be a special holy time for us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for lighting our Shabbat candles. Thank you. Thank you, Soren. Thank you, Shula. Would you please turn to page 152? We're going to join together in singing Hine Matov. 152.
Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
We're going to hear a number of stories tonight, but the first story we're going to hear is from Jacob and Soren Breyer. So please come up.
This is a story about 4 people named Everybody, Somebody, Anybody, and Nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody knew it was their responsibility to make sure that the job got done. Everybody wasn't too concerned, though, because they were certain that somebody would do it. Somebody always does it. Eventually, they thought. It wasn't a particularly difficult job, so anybody could have done it, but it turned out the job was done by nobody. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody knew anybody could do it and was sure somebody would. Somebody saw everybody hadn't done it and realized nobody did.
And the moral of the story is that when everybody has a job that anybody can do, you should be the somebody who does it.
Soren and Jacob, thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful Shabbat story. And it's very good for all of us to have a reminder that there are times when we need to be that somebody. Would you please look on page 5? Page 5 of your prayer book. We have a reading that we're going to all do together before we rise for the Baruch Hu. Page 5. Let's join together. Oh God, help us to do what is important, to love our parents and our family, to share what we have with others, to be kind to people who need help, to be honest and fair, to learn more about you and what you want us to do. On page 6, we come together in community with the Baruch Hu. Let's rise either in body or in spirit.
Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Let's remain standing and go right to page 9 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Mevaed.
Let's be seated, and we're going to continue with the Ve'ahavta, all about loving God.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levantecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We are going to hear a story now from the Kagan family.
So, if any kids, in particular, I mean, it could be anyone, but there's too many of you for all of you. But kids in particular, if you want to come, there's some really lovely pictures. And, I don't know, you can try and find a moral to the story, or you can just enjoy it like we do. It's a nice bedtime story, so we're all dressed up for bedtime. Kiddos, you know what to do with the sound effects, right? Yeah. All right. So why don't you sit down on the steps?
I don't want to.
No. You guys can come and sit and look at the pictures. My kids will come and sit on the steps, and they'll give you some ideas of what to do. So, alrighty. So let's see. You've seen the pictures. All right, you can look back and look at the pictures. All right, so this is called Bringing the Rain to Kapiti Plain. It's an old folk tale poem retold by Verna Erdema, and the pictures are by Beatriz Vidal. Yes. This is the great Kapiti Plain, all fresh and green from African rains, a sea of grass for the ground birds to nest in, and patches of shade for wild creatures to rest in, with acacia trees for giraffes to browse on, and grass for the herdsmen to pasture their cows on. But one year the rains were so very belated that all of the big wild creatures migrated. Then Kipat helped to end that terrible drought, and this story tells how it all came about. This is the cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. Can you all see okay? All right. This is the grass, all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. These are the cows, all hungry and dry, that mooed for the rain. So guys, when I say mood for the rain, you guys go, moo, okay? Like you really want the rain to come down, right? All right. You're going to get another few shots at this. That mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. This is Kipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain. Moo, good God. To fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud all heavy with rain that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. This is the eagle. Ah! Very good. Who dropped a feather that helped to change the weather. It fell near Kipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain, to come from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead, that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. Now this is the arrow Kipat put together with the slender stick and an eagle feather. From the eagle who happened to drop a feather that helped to change the weather. It fell near Kipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud all heavy with rain that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. This is the bow, so long and strong and strung with a string, a leather thong. A bow for the arrow Kipat put together with a slender stick and an eagle feather. From the eagle who happened to drop a feather. Oh, yes, sorry. The eagle? Good job. The eagle who happened, a feather that helped to change the weather. It fell near Kipat, who watched his herd as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud all heavy with rain that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. This was the shot that pierced the cloud and loosed the rain with thunder loud. Let's be thunder, guys. Can we be thunder? We're very close to the end. Right? A shot from the bow so long and strong and strung with a string, a leather thong. A bow for the arrow Kipat put together with a slender stick and an eagle feather. Ah! From the eagle who happened to drop a feather that helped to change the weather. It fell near Kipat, who watched his herd, as he stood on one leg like the big stork bird. Kipat, whose cows were so hungry and dry, they mooed for the rain to fall from the sky, to green up the grass all brown and dead that needed the rain from the cloud overhead, the big black cloud, all heavy with rain, that shadowed the ground on Kapiti Plain. So the grass grew green, and the cattle fat, and Kipat found a wife, and they had a little Kipat, who tends the cows now, and he shoots down the rain when black clouds shadow Kapiti Plain. And that's the end. All right. Thank you very much.
Kagan family, thank you for bringing us another story this Shabbat. We are going to continue with the Shabbat spirit on page 16 with the singing of Vishamru. Vishamru is all about creation. It's about the joy of Shabbat. And I'll show you one of the things we learned at Biennial to join in with Vishamru with, okay?
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'doratam berit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'doratam berit olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Od hi leolam, od hi leolam, od hi leolam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat L'doratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam.
We are in for such a treat because Bikti has come to tell us a story tonight.
A young girl went to her grandmother and told her about her life and how things were so hard for her. She did not know how she was going to make it and wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting and struggling. It seemed that, as one problem was solved, a new one arose. Her grandmother took her to the kitchen. She filled 3 pots with water and placed each on a high fire. Soon, the pots came to a boil. In the first, she placed carrots. In the second, she placed eggs. And in the last, she placed ground coffee beans.
She let them sit and boil, without saying a word. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. Then she ladled the coffee out and placed it in a bowl. Turning to her granddaughter, she asked, "Tell me, what do you see?" "Carrots, eggs, and coffee," the young girl replied. The grandmother brought her closer and asked her to feel the carrots. She did, and noted that they were soft. She then asked her to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, she asked her to sip the coffee. The granddaughter smiled as she tasted its rich aroma. The granddaughter then asked, "What does it mean, grandmother?" Her grandmother explained, Her grandmother explained that each of these objects had faced the same adversary, boiling water, but each reacted differently. Thank you. The carrot went in strong, hard, and unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and became weak.
The egg had been fragile. Its thin outer shell had protected its liquid interior, but after sitting through the boiling water, its inside became hardened. The ground coffee beans were unique, however. After they were in the boiling water, they had changed the water.
"Which are you?" the grandmother asked her granddaughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Think of this. Which are you? Are you the carrot that seems strong, but with pain and adversity, do you wilt and become soft and lose your strength?
Am I the egg that starts with a malleable heart but changes with the heat? Did I have a fluid spirit, but after a bad day or another hardship, does my shell look the same, but on the inside am I bitter and tough with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean? The bean actually changes the hot water, the very circumstance that brings the pain. When the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and flavor. If you are like the bean, when things are at their worst, do you get better and change the situation around you? When the hours are the darkest and trials are their greatest, do you elevate to another level?
Before Bikti leaves, first of all, thank you for that great story, but I got a text while you all were up there. Some friends were so eager to hear your story, they wanted to be let in. Would you all go get them? They're in my office. They wanted to come in because of your story. So come bring them a seat, please. They can sit wherever they want. Bikti, you have inspired all of us here. People are clamoring at the door to get in, and so we are really grateful for all the stories that we are hearing tonight. We are going to rise for Tefillah, page 122 in your prayer book.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, V'zocher hasте avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula lifnei v'nehem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 124. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. Mashiv haruach, morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofe cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishene afar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech memid, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nehemana talecha chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Before we sit down, if you would, set your prayer books down. We're going to give gratitude while we're standing up. So if everybody, you know these words, when we say the word Baruch, bend your knees. So Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, of the whole world. Who wants to tell us one thing you're feeling really grateful for right now?
Pajamas.
Pajamas. And? Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say something. No. Okay. Pajamas. What else do we feel grateful for? Community. One more. Mild weather. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We give thanks for pajamas and community and good weather. Who else? Let's have a few more. What do you, Shula, what did you say? Friendship. Friendship. What else? Caleb. Warm clothes. Friendship and warm clothes. And your sister. Friendship and warm clothes and sister. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We give thanks for warmth and friendship and sisters. Anyone else feeling just, your heart's just bursting with gratitude about something right now?
Good stories.
Good stories. What else? Good stories and?
All these children.
Children. All these children. And family, good stories and family. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. We give thanks for children and family and good stories. Let's be seated, and our hearts are overflowing with gratitude. And just in time for another story. Christopher Lane.
Okay, so I wanted to tell the story of the rabbi and the lion, which I'd heard before. So I went to check it out, find it, make sure I had it right. Turns out there were several different versions of the rabbi and the lion story. I was surprised. In one, a famous rabbi from Jerusalem wanted to travel to Egypt to ask for money for the poor people of Jerusalem. Now, if this sanctuary was a giant map of the Middle East and North Africa, then he would be traveling from inside the rabbi's office over to really about here where the bima would be. In the other version of the story, a not-so-famous rabbi wanted to travel from Morocco to Jerusalem. So Morocco would have been over on that side, and Jerusalem would be over there in the rabbi's office. All right. Anyway, both stories have a rabbi. Both stories have a lion. But you know what I have that is only in one story? A fez. So that's the story that I'm going to tell. All right. So, in that version, Rabbi Masoud al-Fassi lived in the country of Morocco in the city of Fez. Hence, his name was al-Fassi, which is Masoud of Fez. This was several hundred years ago, and Rabbi al-Fassi wanted to live in Jerusalem to be around many other Jews who knew about the laws and practices of Judaism, since many of the Jews in his region had kind of lost touch with the basic laws and practices of Judaism. So he set out with a caravan to cross the Sahara Desert on his way to Jerusalem. Well, Friday came, and Rabbi al-Fassi wanted to stop to honor Shabbat. And the rest of the people in the caravan thought he was crazy. Because we are in the middle of the desert, they said. It is bad enough that there are poisonous snakes, bandits, marauders, frightening sandstorms, sweltering heat, but even worse than all of these are the Barbary lions that would find us and eat us for sure if we stop. But Rabbi al-Fassi was determined to honor Shabbat, and as his friends could not convince him otherwise, they traveled on their way with heavy hearts, and they left him behind. As the evening came, Rabbi al-Fassi drew a big circle in the sand around himself, and he sat down in the middle to welcome Shabbat, and he prayed, and he sang songs to honor Shabbat. Do you know who heard him singing? A Barbary lion. This lion came and he laid down right outside the circle and listened while the rabbi prayed and sang. And when Shabbat was over, what do you think the lion did? Did he have the rabbi for dinner? No, he did not. He stood up and he walked back and forth outside of the circle in front of the rabbi until the rabbi finally got the idea and understood that the lion was offering him a ride. Yes. So, Rabbi Masoud al-Fassi climbed onto the lion's back, carefully, and the lion carried him the rest of the way across the desert to the city of Tunis, which is about as far as this, where I am now on our giant map. Remember, we were going from Morocco to Jerusalem, but we only got to Tunis. Well, the people of Tunis were terrified of the lion. Yeah. But amazed to see a rabbi riding on his back. And even more amazed to see the lion gently kneel down for Rabbi al-Fassi to get off his back, to see the lion stand back up on all fours, to hear the lion give a giant roar, yeah, and to have him turn around and watch the lion calmly trot away back out into the desert. Well, the Jewish people of Tunis knew very little about the basic laws and practices of Judaism, but they knew that for the lion to treat the rabbi the way he did, that the rabbi must be a very holy man. The rabbi knew that God had sent the lion to keep him safe and to help him reach the place he needed to be. And so Rabbi al-Fassi decided to cancel his trip to the Holy Land and remain there, teaching the Jewish people of Tunis the way of God and his Torah. And he is remembered for reuniting the people with their faith and for the many students he taught there in Tunis.
Well, I tell you what, lions and tigers and animals, and we are having one great story after another tonight. One of the things when we get together for Shabbat that is so important for us to do is to remember to say a prayer for people who are not feeling well, for people who are sick. And so if you look on the inside of the back cover of your book, you'll see a prayer, a Misha Berach, that we say for people who aren't feeling well.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBeracha Limotenu who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
As we pause between the verses, I invite anybody who would like to say the names of people you're holding in your heart who are in need of healing. Might be healing of the body, might be healing of the spirit. And if this is a day when you're not feeling well, be sure and say your own name too, knowing that when all these names are said at the same time, the prayers for all of them join strength in community. Linda Klepper and Ron and Elena Winter, Lisa and Sam and
Jesse. Misheberach imotenu mekor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Okay, and we offer prayers for people in need of healing. We also offer prayers for the wonderful things in our lives. I bet we have some January birthdays. If you're having a birthday in January, come on up, because we want to celebrate your birthday with you. Come on up. All you January birthdays, come on up. Don't be shy. Okay, 2? That's it? 2? Really? Okay. When is your birthday? January?
14th.
January 14th. And how old are you going to be? 9 years old. January 1st. Mazel tov. Happy birthday. And?
Me too.
2 January 1st. Any more January birthdays? So we want to say happy birthday. We sing Yom Huledet Sameach.
Yom Huledech Sameach, Yom Huledech Sameach, Yom Huledech Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.
Birthday blessings. I know we have other things that people are celebrating. Who wants to tell us something else that you're a milestone, something you're really happy about right now? Having Shabbat right now, Stephen, you're right.
A friend of mine was just for the last week was at a charity marathon, and over the course of those 6 days that he was there, they raised $171,000 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
A very successful charity event for St. Jude's Hospital. Marvelous. Who else? Who else is celebrating something? Lucy.
Last week we celebrated our 18th wedding
18th wedding
anniversary.
anniversary. Mazel tov. 18 glorious years. Who else? Who else? Okay. I think the animals are celebrating. Oh, Heidi.
Gabriel and his team won the regional underwater robotics competition.
Underwater robotics competition. At the Oneg, we'll have to find out what that means. Mazel tov to you and your team for winning. Is there anybody else? For all of these joys, and also the joys that we keep silently within us, we give thanks with Shehechianu, which is also on the inside back cover of your book.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Ah, 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 amen.
We've got one more story for you tonight, and I'm lucky enough to be able to tell that. If you're somebody who likes dogs, raise your hand. Okay, if you're somebody who likes cats, raise your hand. When we go through this story, every time you hear the word dog, let's hear a little bark. But remember not to go on for hours, We'll say a little bark and then we'll stop. So when I say dog, and when I say cat, okay, you be part of this story with me. Once upon a time, there were two brothers. Well, we know what you think of your older brother. The older brother was named Ed, and he really loved dogs. He loved dogs so much that all he talked about was dogs. Dogs were all he thought about. His bed was covered with stuffed toy dogs. One entire wall of his bedroom all the shelves were covered with dogs. Dogs, dogs, dogs. Ed loved dogs. His younger brother, Fred, loved cats. He loved cats so much that cats were all he talked about. Cats were all he thought about. His bed was covered with toy cats. One entire wall of his bedroom was lined with shelves, and those shelves were covered with cats. Cats, cats, cats. Fred loved cats. With so many cats and dogs in the house, there was just one thing missing. A real live pet. They never had a real live pet because the boys couldn't agree. Ed wanted a dog. Fred wanted a cat. Their parents said they had to decide on one pet because the house wasn't big enough for two. So sometimes they would argue for hours at a time. Ed would say that dogs are better than cats because you could walk them and play catch with them. Fred would say that cats were better than dogs because they were softer and you could cuddle with them. Besides, they were easier to take care of. You didn't have to walk cats. Sometimes they would end up shouting at one another. Ed would say, dogs are better. Fred would say, cats are better. And sometimes it went back and forth. Cats, dogs, cats, dogs, cats, dogs. Other than the ongoing disagreement over a pet, the brothers really got along very well with one another. They walked to school together. They read the same books. They played together all the time. They even played with their cats and their dogs together. But when the subject of getting a pet came up, they started fighting again. Cats, dogs, fight, fight, fight. One day they were having one of their regular fights. Ed was holding his favorite stuffed dog, and Fred was holding his favorite stuffed cat. And they were arguing. Cats, dogs, cats, dogs. Fred said, look how much cuter my cat is than your dog. And Ed said, my dog is cuter than your cat. Is not, is too, is not, is too. Finally, Fred was so angry, he reached out and he grabbed his older brother's stuffed dog by the leg, and he yanked it. Ed pulled back, and both boys were pulling at the dog. What do you think happened? They needed an orthopedic surgeon is what they needed. The leg ripped right off of the dog. Ed was very upset. Later, their mom was talking to Fred. You know what you did was wrong, don't you? Said his mom. Fred said, yes, I know. What are you going to do about it? She asked. What do you think he should do? What do you think Fred should do? What Fred decided he should do, and what Fred did do, was apologize. And then after he apologized, he fixed the stuff. He knew he needed to fix the stuffed dog. He knew he needed to save his money to buy Ed a new one. He knew that they needed to agree to stop arguing about cats and dogs. So Fred did apologize to his brother, and he asked his mom to fix up the stuffed dog, and she made it almost as good as new, and the brothers agreed to stop arguing about cats and dogs and to compromise. So what do you think they did? They got a pet rabbit. They got a pet rabbit, and I tell you this story because it's so important that we remember that sometimes we need to apologize, and sometimes we need to say, I'm sorry, and sometimes we need to compromise. All of our stories have really brought us important messages tonight. We are grateful for our stories. And the message of this last story is that we need to do our part to make the world better, and that's what the Aleinu is all about. So would you turn to page 141 and rise for the Aleinu, please?
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
So let's be seated and let's everybody do the reading together on page 142, because we need to remember how much we need to do to make the world be a better place. Let's join together. Someday, every person will hear God's words and do what God commands. We pray with all our hearts. There be no more fighting and violence and war. Let the time come soon when people will be kind to each other, when no one will be hungry or homeless, when everyone will be free. Let us begin. May our love and care bring nearer the time when all people will be one peaceful human family. On that day, all people will say, Adonai is the one and only God of the whole world. And look at all those hands, holding each other's hands, being together, working together to make the world better.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We're at the top of page 143. As our service ends, we think about people whose lives have ended. Some of them we knew, and they were very special to us. We loved them and we missed them very much. Others we did not know, but we honor them as well. With our Kaddish prayer, we thank you, God, for life and love. We remember wonderful people and we praise you for their lives. We too shall try to live as you want us to live. As a community, we at Temple Habonim mourn the recent loss of life all across the world, to acts of senseless gun violence, to acts of terrorism, to acts of natural disaster. As a community, we mourn one recent death and we recall several yortzites. If I say the name of someone you're remembering, I invite you to stand as you hear their name and remain standing until we join you for Kaddish. As a community, we mourn the recent death of Ben Russell's cousin, Stephen Russell. As a community, we recall the yortzites of Todd Sonner, father of Danny Breyer, Barbara White, mother of Sarah Donahue. Adriana Couto, father of Lucy Friedman. Harvey Friedland, father of Michael Friedland. Albert Kittner, father-in-law of Ann Kittner. Vernon Herschel Mark, father of David Mark. Max Plusker, father of Aaron Plusker. Jacobo Glantz, father of Shula Schoenfeld. Bella Schoenfeld, mother-in-law of Shula Schoenfeld. Dora Topor, grandmother of David Topor. David Trachtman, father of Jennifer Trachtman Rooks. And Evelyn Dickens, grandmother of Stephanie Wilmarth. If there's anyone here mourning a recent death I did not mention, or recalling someone in the first year of mourning, or recalling a yahrzeit I did not mention, would you please stand and tell us the name of the person you recall, who that person was to you, and then remain standing till we join you for Kaddish.
My sister.
Zecher Tzadik Livracha, the name of each person we recall brings blessing. Let's stand. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chaye chon uvyome chon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ul'olmei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha berichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Please be seated. So we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi. And Kiddush and Motzi can be found on page 108. And I need all of our religious school students to come on up to help us with Kiddush and Motzi. So come on up. And while they're coming up, you have a sheet with all the announcements about things going on. I hope you take a... Come on up on the bima. And... I don't think there's anything else we need to announce. All the announcements are on your sheet. Does Bikti have anything to announce? We're good? Okay, so as you're coming up here, I want to say we really had the opportunity to learn a lot from our stories tonight. From the Breyer story, we learned about being the somebody who says yes. From the Kagan story, we learned about how very powerful a moo can be. From the Bikti story, we learned about choices that we have, about ways we can respond to adversity. And I was grateful that that raw egg stayed right in the pot, just as it was. From Christopher Lane's story, we learned about honoring Shabbat and people coming together from different cultures. From the story I told, we learned about getting along with each other. And I want to let everyone know that the animals who joined us tonight, they've been in my office. They've been a little lonely. They've gotten some company tonight. They're going to go back there, not too slobbered on or torn apart, because these are the animals that get raffled off at the Purim Carnival. So if you fell in love with an animal, come back to the Purim Carnival, and you will have an opportunity to get one of these animals. Meanwhile, we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi. So, who is Gabriel? You're part of the religious school. Come on. Bikti, you're part of the religious school. Come on. You think you're too big for this? Come on. Come on. Eliana, you're not too little for this. Come on up. Who wants to take the cup? You did earlier. You want to? You got a chance earlier. Hold it until we say the blessing. Just hold the cup, okay? So everybody, we need to hear you so nice and loud. We're going to do the short kiddush, you know, the Borei Pri Hagafen, you know that one. So let's go ahead and start. L'chaim, give it a taste, William. What you got there? Juice. Yummy. Yummy. That's wonderful. And somebody, hold on to this is a fancy challah. What's the story on this challah? Who?
My father baked it.
Baked by Jeff Breyer. So everybody, and there's another one back there. So before we start tearing it apart, we'll take it back there so that all the crumbs stay back there. Let's join together in Motzi, good and loud. B'te'avon, thank you. Gideon, would you march that back to the oneg table so everyone can get that? Thank you for leading us in our blessings. We're going to close with Oseh Shalom. Thank you very much. Let me tell you, people were good sports about PJ Shabbat, about storytelling Shabbat. So thank you all for your help. Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom. Anna